Welcome to Guided Soul Reflections with Purnima and Sangeeta, where healing meets real life. Whether you're spiritual, curious, or simply ready to live with greater awareness, we share through our own life experiences simple and grounded ways to raise your energy and return to clarity, courage, and peace. This is real life, not perfect life, and together we explore what is truly means to grow, heal, and awaken. And today it's episode 14, and I just can't believe we are doing episode 14, but it is about, again, vibrational series will carry on. Today is all about, energy, purpose, and boundaries. What happens when we live in alignment? In the last few episodes, we have spoken about awareness, contraction, and pain, and how meeting ourselves honestly begins to shift our energy. Today, we are going to explore what's happened when that shift occurs, what it looks like when energy starts to reorganize, and how purpose and boundaries naturally emerge from the place of alignment. Hi, my name is Sangeeta Diwan. I'm a spiritual mentor and an intuitive healer. I support individuals who are navigating grief, emotional pain, heartbreak, and trauma. And my work integrates transformative modalities such as rapid transformational therapy, Akashic record guidance, energy healing, and hypnotherapy. Everything I offer is grounded in the wisdom of my own journey through loss and profound healing.
I'm Pranima. For a long time, I've lived from the outside in, achieving, adapting, staying strong, and quietly losing my way along the way. My awakening didn't begin with curiosity or seeking. It began when my body could no longer carry what my voice hadn't yet learned to express. Patterns of guilt, people pleasing, overgiving, and self abandonment. What followed wasn't a retreat from real life, but rather a deeper return to it. Learning to listen inward, meet discomfort with honesty, and live from truth rather than survival. Today, as a soul led mentor working with emotional healing, energy, and integration, I work alongside others who recognize themselves in that story, not to fix them, but to support their remembering of who they are beneath the patterns they once needed to survive.
Well, you know what? In this episode, we'll be answering a practical question that was, asked, many, many times. Is how do I live in alignment, without pushing, proving, or burning myself out? So that's what we'll be discussing. Purnima, what does alignment mean to you?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. So alignment isn't necessarily about finding your purpose and then reorganizing your life around it. In some cases, yes, it may transpire that that is what's happening. But when your energy is no longer tied to survival patterns, so you're not operating from fear or guilt or shame or over, people pleasing or suffering, your clarity starts to emerge. So it isn't about, yeah, I'm chasing my purpose. What's my purpose? What's my purpose? What's my purpose? It's actually as you go through that journey, it's something you recognize. Um, and the boundaries aren't something you force, they become necessary when you start honoring your energy. So as before I pass on to you, Sangeeta, I think this for me is one of the really powerful episode because I've done both. I've done it the way my whole life chasing this idea of what's my purpose. There was a deep calling. There was something, and I'll talk to it when I talk about my my personal story. Um, so it's an interesting one of what comes first, chasing that purpose or moving through life and then your purpose will emerge or a version of another purpose emerges. So yeah, we'll talk about that as we continue. Thank you.
Well, you know what? In all these episodes, and that, when we are talking about vibrational, again, we are mentioning David Hawkins. And according to him, alignment as energetic stability. So, on the scale of that neutrality, willingness, acceptance, and these are the stages or states where reactivity decreases, self responsibility increases, and life feels less like a battle, And, honestly, we don't feel high all the time, like everything is sorted and yeah, 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 our life is in flow.
Love and light, yeah.
Yeah, love and light. But it feels more steady. And I have felt
Mm,
that I am
mm.
more grounded, I am more steady. And for me, that is what alignment looks like, is no matter what comes my way, I have this inner knowing that I will be able to deal with it with awareness, with kindness, with having some healthy boundaries. So, Purnima, I mean, we were saying about that. I want you to share your life experience where when you started to feel aligned, or what does
Mm,
alignment mean to you in
mm.
person, and how in practical life, people can see, okay, that's what alignment looks like.
Oh, feels like, yeah.
Like, yeah.
So, yeah, so just to, this one's a really, like I said again, it's a really powerful one. So I just want to really pause. And so I would say now on reflection, as I've walked through or, literally journeyed back to myself in the last 5, 6 years and maybe longer, knowingly and unknowingly, um, there was something that was constantly calling me. What that was, I didn't know, but even in the workspace, I've worked across various different industries. And then in every job that I've had across the 27 years, I've literally every year almost been promoted in some way or gone for a new role because there was something in me that was searching. And so it's not that I got bored, but it was like there's something in me that I was trying to get to, but I had no awareness what that was because my lens of life was like this. It was like, I think I did a little video earlier and I talked about, you know, I thought this is my life and this is how it's going to go, that I'm only, this is all I'm capable of and this is what I need to make the best of. And yes, I also dreamt small because I'm like, well, who am I to dream big and, have all of these variations of what I want life to be? No, this is your life. Be grateful about it and take the most joy in that version of your life. So as as I started this journey, clarity started coming. And again, that didn't just happen. We both worked with a mentor who helped us realize what this next version of ourselves or the healed version of ourselves, what that purpose was going to, lead us to. So, so for me, alignment is it's coming home. It's a feeling of just utter peace. Like I and people that know me, including my obviously my husband, will know I before all of this work, if I had to make a decision, I mean, my role got made redundant 6 months ago, and I'm now, I've started my own company, and if this had happened any other time, I would have not made this decision on my own to because I could have looked for another job. They offered me other roles, and I could have just continued in that vein. But I knew that if I continued that way, I was going to be out of alignment. I knew last year, the moment that no longer suited me, because every time I've been in my career, I've loved my jobs. I've loved the people I've worked with. I've loved the work I've done. So I've been authentically in those workspaces and I've enjoyed it. Last year, something shifted, but it shifted so profoundly that when I went to the office, I resented being there. Like I just realized, okay, this is not aligning with me anymore. But I didn't know what that was going to look like or feel like, but I knew the shift the moment it happened because it's never happened to me. In 27 years of working, I've never not wanted to be in my, in my workspace. So, and then I was like, okay, something's changing. Now I know what alignment feels like, and this is no longer aligned with me at this point in my life, with this version of me. And when the news came that uh, that only came this year, so a year later almost, the news came that okay, your role's being made redundant. I didn't go into panic. I didn't go into fear. I literally understood that this is part of the journey, and this is the universe, saying that okay, you're now
Magic.
ready for, yeah, nudging, exactly. And some will say nudging, some will say a big bang,
Pushing.
because redundancy can be very fearful, right? Like it's a scary thing,
Yeah.
because you just
Yeah.
imagine, okay, there's the self-worth. You think, oh, it's happened to me because I'm not good at, and I knew that's not the case. So for me, this was a gift to start that new journey. And um, in the past, what I really, really understood why this is so my path is I would have asked 1,000 people to help me with this decision. I really would have. I would have gone to my closest people first, and then I would have extended that circle. Then I may have gone and got, maybe a reading done. And it's just thinking about that exhaustion, the fatigue, the decision fatigue. And every time you speak to someone, they speaking to you from their own perspective. Some maybe fear, some maybe, yes, I've done it, so go and do it. But maybe, again, might be too brash and say, yeah, just go, this is it, take that step. So, and I've done this my whole life, asking, seeking validation outside of myself, seeking permission. And this was the first time in my life I made that decision, me on my own, sat with it, I felt it, I understood it. Then I sense checked the approach, and but I knew, because if I don't believe it, how can I ask anyone else to? So that that is what alignment is to me. It's that deep, deep knowing, and only you know that knowing. No one can tell you. No one can. Um, no one can tell you really, because you know it's so deep inside yourself that it's something that can't shift.
Yeah.
So so yeah. So when I stopped forcing the path, or forcing my path became clearer. And now where I'm at, I'm living in alignment. I do, obviously I'm starting a new business, which has got all of its own challenges that are going to come with it. And I say challenges, but not in a bad way, because I know this is another level of my evolution. I'm going to grow from this journey, because starting a business is not, you know, um, it's using all different skills, emotional, mental. It's a spiritual business, so I'm learning to use my spiritual gifts and skills on how I want to run a business, as opposed to the classic way of this is a business and you must do this and this and this and this. No, I'm feeling my way into it, and I have faith that I didn't get you by chance. It's all been divinely, beautifully orchestrated and guided. And so this is the first time where I'm truly, in a conscious way, living in alignment. I think I have been in alignment uh, throughout my life, but I feel like I wasn't consciously aware of that. But I was being guided, and I was aligned because I needed to be there to get here. So I had to experience that life journey to get here. So it's not like I could skip steps in a way. So, so yeah, that's my experience of
Your
alignment.
yes. You know what? One thing that really, really resonated with me, and I'll share my experience, is that when you said in the end is like, you know, you feel you're aligned because what you have done, you shifted from a place of fear to faith.
Mm,
you know and you made that decision. Before that, if you were not in alignment, you would have felt really fearful of, like, as
mm,
soon as this decision was made, or it was you became aware of it, you would have gone, oh my god, what will happen to me now, this and
mm,
that. And I think those are the words I feel as well can sum up alignment. When you shift from a place of fear to a place of faith,
mm,
and faith, and both are unseen.
mm,
Fear is unseen and faith is unseen you know but because, again, most of the people around us buy into the fear of lack, fear of scarcity, whatever fears they have, they feed to us that same thing, And the most beautiful thing, again, what you said was that you didn't ask anybody else to make that decision. You made that decision because somewhere within you, you knew that was the right decision.
Mm,
You
mm.
knew it is happening. Yes, it is happening to you, but it was happening for you as well,
Yes, yes,
you know
yes,
and
yes.
and that's the beauty of it, living in alignment. I feel again and again and every day. I mean, my where I feel my life experiences and how it shifted again. From it started from the day my husband was diagnosed, and how I could have just really gone into this poor me, the victim, being a victim. This is happening to me again. Why is my life so cursed, kind of thing, or why
Mm,
all bad
mm,
things happen to me, which I'd done that in the past. Every even little thing. I mean, this was the huge thing. Every little thing happens. Like, why me? Why me again? Why I'm in pain again? But this time, because I was aware of my soul journey and what was happening, yes, I went into anger. Yes, I went into fear. But I could shift that very clearly and saying, okay, this is happening for me. I have to go through it. How can I go through it with awareness?
mm.
You know, and later on, first year was very, very difficult. But then what I started to find that I was taking time out for myself, like I think I mentioned in last
Mm,
episode, I was becoming clear what I will not tolerate in my life. Because I think my husband's illness and the time, of grief has really made it so clear that people who I have loved, I have cared for, I have given a lot, were not there for me. Some of them were not there for me when
mm.
I needed them the most. That was the only time in my life where I
Yeah,
felt I need that
mm.
emotional support or things like that.
Yeah, yeah,
And in the beginning, of course, it really made me angry and it broke my heart. But then I realized slowly and slowly, because I had so much time on my hand,
yep,
I was on my own. I had so much time on my hand, and I was going through every single day with awareness. What made clear to me was, are those people supposed to be in my life in this
yep,
part of my journey?
yep, yep.
Um, Maybe divine is showing me something. I really needed to see it. And I remember doing Akashic record reading with Nimesh, our spiritual mentor, and it was like, maybe you're holding on to people that they are not good for you, or they are not right for you where you're heading, you
Yeah.
know but the older version of me could not let go of people, could not. I just wanted to carry them. I was just, I felt I was obliged to them, because somewhere in my life they became a big part of me. And
Mm,
when I looked at that as well, that was because a lot of work I did, because I cared about people so much. I always was consciously connecting to them and, creating that connection.
mm, mm.
But what I felt, that my vibration was shifting, and those people only cared for themselves. So they were connecting to me because something they were getting out of me, out of my
Yes.
loving and caring energy.
Mm,
Because who doesn't like to be loved and cared? Everybody
yeah,
does.
yeah,
And I was looking for the same. But guess
yeah,
what? I didn't get that. So I was like, okay, this is happening, and it is very, very painful. And those people were very, very close to my heart, And I said, okay, let's not see that as a punishment. Let's see that as, divine is guiding me somewhere else.
else, yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, it might be a bit more lonely path for me to move ahead, but let me have faith in divine, that whatever he's doing or she's doing, is universe is guiding me in a right way. And I remember really starting to, when people talk to you or call you, I became so aware of, how is my body reacting to
mm,
when I'm talking to those people, or what their people are talking about. Are they just focused on themselves, or are they focused on both of our well-being? What
yeah,
are they wanting from me? Can they understand that I'm in a very vulnerable place and I need my time, or I need some emotional support?
mm,
And if not, why not? So I start asking those questions and saying, okay, yeah, a lot of it was not pleasant. but I'm so grateful for what was shown to me. Sometimes in my dream states, sometimes through Akashic record reading, sometimes reading through other, readers.
Mm,
And it was again say, okay, Sangeeta, how can you let go of those people? You know, and again, I just didn't know how to let go. But I thought, okay, let me take a little bit space. Let me not talk to them as often I do. Let me not get myself involved. And more I did that. And again, it was very difficult for me. That was one of the most difficult thing I had to do after my husband died, because, at that point, maybe I felt I needed people. But
mm,
what divine showed me, maybe you don't. Maybe you think you need people.
mm, mm,
But are those people, are they taking your energy higher or bringing it down?
mm, mm,
So I was like, okay. And the fear was that maybe I'll end up lonely,
mm,
you know. But the faith was, maybe, yes, for the time being, you might walk this path on your own, but maybe there's other people you're going to meet when you create space in
yeah,
your life,
create
you know.
space. Yeah.
And creating space wasn't again easy. So I took time, I observed. Rather than talking more, I observed. I allowed myself to say no. That was difficult,
Mm,
but when I said no, two things happened. One, people who really cared for me, loved for me, understood that
mm,
I need some space, I need time, I'm going through my own stuff.
mm,
People who didn't like, who got triggered by me saying no,
mm,
I could tell they were not never there for me.
mm,
They are all about them, what they were getting out of me. So of course now they are not.
mm.
I'm
Yeah.
not investing my energy in them. I'm investing energy in myself because I really needed that. That was like, when Divani is saying,
Yeah.
look at that. But for the first time in my life, for me, alignment was having healthy boundaries.
Mm,
I didn't
mm,
even know what boundaries were till then.
yeah.
I had no idea how important having boundaries with
Yeah.
people is, be it your own children, be it your own parents, siblings, friends, colleagues, whatever. But saying no means I choose me, you know and that was the shift, the biggest shift. I've gone through it. But because I was giving so much time to me, I was becoming loving, I was becoming caring. I was very, very, as soon as I went into guilt or something else which was unpleasant, it's like, no, Sangeeta, you're not going there.
Mm,
You're not going there. I'm going to hold your space. I'm going to be, all that love and time that I have invested in people, poured my heart out, I'm going to invest in you. You become my, the person, the go-to person. I'm going to take care of you. And that self-love, I didn't even know. I mean, it started after a year and a half of Mahesh passing away. Till then it was, I just couldn't think straight. But the amount of love I was pouring in me, it was creating this beautiful space for me to be in.
mm.
I was creating this peace, I was
No.
creating joy, I
Mm,
was doing whatever felt good. So if it felt good for me to wake up and make something big breakfast, I did.
mm,
If I felt like some days I don't want to eat, I didn't eat. If one day I felt like I want to whole day stay in bed and cry, I did that.
mm,
If I felt like
mm.
meeting somebody, I did. If I felt like I don't want to talk to anybody for a month, I didn't. I really took care of me. I
Yeah.
really showed myself what love means.
Mm,
What love means. What do I give to other people? And saying, can I be that kind to myself? you know
yeah.
and I think that healed me, that really healed me. And again, now alignment feels like, yes, whatever comes my way, I sit back, I take a pause, I think, oh, is that for my, I have to prioritize myself.
Mm,
Does that feel good? So my
yeah.
go-to question is, does that feel good? Because if that feels good, yes, is
You
the
are
answer.
more of it. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
If it doesn't feel good, and I'm again feeling doing something from the place of obligation for people pleasing, the answer is no.
Yep.
And I have become so good at it. Again, it comes through practice. It doesn't
Mm,
come overnight.
mm,
I've been practicing that now almost over 3 years, or having healthy boundaries, learning to
mm,
say no, learning to be kind and gentle. How I say, again, it's not always like that, but I always say, if I'm 80% there, I feel I am in
Yeah,
good place, you know.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I feel I am. Again, like we said, we have worked on ourselves. I mean, for me, when I look back yesterday, actually, I was talking to a friend and I look back, I said, it's been 17 years of my work that I first, when I became aware of that I can create my reality. It took me long time to heal from
Mm.
lots of traumas, emotional, the childhood things and like that. But boy, am I happy that I am here where I am today.
It's never too late. It's never too late. It's never
Um,
too
very, very grateful. And again, very aware that, you know, we'll still have certain things, we'll have to deal with it, but we'll
late.
deal with it with awareness. We'll still have some down times, we'll still have to go through it. Again, if we are growing, that means something new challenge is going to come. Like you said, you're setting up your spiritual the business, which is, and I set up my business 2 years ago. So it's about learning to make mistakes, learning to be kind to ourselves when we make mistakes, learning to ask questions, ask for help, support.
Yeah.
So growth is always, it's never going to stop. But I am going to now, like you and me, we are in space where we are holding space for other people, we are guiding other people, and it feels good. And
Yeah.
if that means sometimes we have to take time out for ourselves, to learn, to grow, to process things, we are going to do it lovingly. So I think that's what I feel alignment feels to me.
Yeah, and there's so much in there. It's really beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Sangeeta. It's I feel one of the reasons why I'm so honored in a way to be walking this path and to be able to do the work that we do is because whenever I mean I know this and I it's something that I also when I see human beings I've always just seen potential and love and it's how I operate. And now I understand why this, that was such a part of my being. And now I get to work with individuals so that they can see their own light and shine it. And that's such a beautiful, beautiful thing because, that's where your authenticity comes in. That's where you are in flow state. That's where you see synchronicity. And that synchronicity and flow state feels like magic. Really, I say magic, but it does. It is because things just happen and doors open and little miracles happen and you start having conversations. I mean, just even in the last 2 weeks, I've just had such beautiful, beautiful conversations with strangers. Honestly, when I say strangers, just someone sitting next to me in a coffee shop when I was walking in the park and profound conversations, not um, things that, like, yeah, just profound, deep conversations. And that is just amazing. And it's not, again, I come back to this, it's not unique to me and you. Uh, you know, this is access that everyone has. And the work that we do is to able to help you get access to that version of yourself, go deep in and, find that inner peace. And alignment is that it's inner peace because um, I think you said it there, it's about, does this make me feel good? And that's it. We've been so long in our mind. And when we think about things, if you're saying no, like, and it's actually something I listened to someone talk about recently. I can't remember who, but they were talking about if you need to say no to a friend, and you can't authentically and honestly say no, and you then go into your thinking mind because you're now you want to create a little white lie or whatever that is, right? And I've done that. I've done that because I felt so guilty and bad that I'm saying no, I can't meet you. It's not. You just go into your feeling. Do you have the space? Do you have the capacity? Because you also know you're going to give yourself fully. So if you don't have the space and the capacity, say no kindly, and then whenever you can, you'll meet that person. You're not operating from dread that, oh my god, if I say no, then this is what's going to happen. And when we go into our thinking, that's what we create those narratives, and then we're back in that circle of we're out of flow state, and then we're not authentic because we do end up saying things that be it a white lie or whatever, we're protecting ourselves, protecting them, whatever that is. So yeah. In fact, oh, sorry, I was just going to read this quote from
Yep.
Eckhart Tolle, who says, "On the power of action, when the basis of your actions is inner alignment with the present moment, your actions become empowered by the intelligence of life itself." And that's
How
so
beautiful is that?
powerful. Your actions become empowered by the intelligence of life itself. And I think that's what it is, right? Like if you're aligned, everything is going to help you push you further in
Yeah.
a further state of abundance, peace, calm, whatever resonates there. But
It's again that just line summed up, isn't it? What I was talking about. It is
yeah,
about, but again, it doesn't come easy. It didn't came to me easily because
no,
I know a lot of people raised their eyebrows and raised questions, why you? And some people again were coming from a place of fear that, oh my God, you're going to feel depressed, this and that. Some people were like, but we are your family. And some people were like, but no, I'm your close friend. And how can you do this? And all of that. And so, you know what, right now, I have to be there for me.
mm,
Right now, it's only me,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and my voice, and nobody else matter.
yeah,
And to
exactly.
have that conviction, to have that strength to say that. And I honestly, when I look back, I think, where did it came from? Because I was not at all strong.
Yeah,
Where did it came from? But I think it's the soul that
mm,
was saying, now is the time when you stand in your power and you gently and lovingly say no.
yeah, yeah,
There is no
exactly,
need for rudeness. And I said it,
exactly.
and then their reaction, whatever their emotion, is nothing to do with me. I don't have
Yeah,
to go and make them feel good about it.
yeah,
This is me. I'm doing it from a place of love, and I'm going to go there, or
yeah,
say no. But yeah, it's again, our conversations, I feel, are very guided. A lot of people struggle with people pleasing and not
yeah.
having
We've all
boundaries.
been there. I was master
I
at
was pro. I was
it. She got a degree in it. I should get a certificate for it. Exactly. Actually, not. I don't need to get a degree. I need to get a certification on people pleasing. So yeah,
and I we learned that there's a lot of that was our trauma response.
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
It's not
but
coming from
again,
nowhere. Yeah,
yeah. So it's about learning. But I have got my cards I'm going to pull from, but I want you to really talk to us about a soul tool that you use for alignment, so our listeners
yeah,
understand.
yeah. So I think the just it's essentially an alignment check-in, and I think um you need to constantly do this, right? Like there'll be certain things that we just because we what you want to avoid is going into pilot or autopilot, and that's what
Mm.
most of us do, right? Like we just it becomes a habit and we go into autopilot, and that's where you need to come back to the present moment, and it's in the present moment that you will feel and you'll understand, okay, how does this make me feel? Whereas if you're in autopilot, you just continue. So a simple daily practice for which I practice on myself, and I would recommend for others is, so ask, what gives me energy today? So you'll know when something drains your energy, and you know when something feeds your energy. You know when you're inspired versus exhausted, and you just feel, you look then for distraction because you're like, I can't deal with this. I'd rather just distract myself. um, what takes energy without returning it? So we all have individuals in our life, or had individuals in our life. At one point we've met them, be it at work, be it in our personal space, be it family members, right? Let's be very honest, it's not just outside of family, um, that drains your energy. And I know people have labels for it. Some may refer to it as energy vampires or whatever. I'm not going to go into labeling it, but it's, you just know that your energy is drained. So if that's a continuous pattern, you need to ask yourself, what is this relationship? Why are you continuing in this relationship? Are you, and also, are you, what are you bringing to it? Are you draining the other person, and it's you both draining each other? So again, to ask that question, you have to be present and be aware. And then what is one small boundary or choice that would honor your energy today? So, what is that? Again, is it just sitting on your own, painting? I don't know, doodling, reading, just lying there in silence, as opposed to doing what we do for distraction. And this is really important because I've done that. And I know sometimes when I do it, now I do it consciously because I need that distraction. I need to be, and maybe sometimes I need to cry. And so I'll watch a TV series that will allow me to do that. And I know it's fine. I'm going to do a few episodes, I'm going to cry, and then that's it. But I'm making a conscious choice as opposed to just sitting down in front of the TV and then just playing. The I forget what the term is that when you just binge watching. Yeah, I've done it. I'm not going to judge myself for it. I did it when I did it, but now I know there's other things that give me absolute joy. So I'm going to use my time and my energy, which is the most valuable thing we have, is energy. So how am I going to use my energy in the way that supports me? So supports my alignment. So yeah, that's yeah. And again, this is not about doing more. It's about doing what's in alignment for you, and only
What
you.
feels good.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah.
What
It
feels
feels
good.
good. It makes you feel good.
What
Yeah. You want more of that good, good, good. I know Shaman Durek says that. Give me some of that good. I want more of
yeah,
that good.
good
And
stuff.
it's true. Exactly. Give me some of that good stuff. And that's what you want. And yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. So yeah. Okay. Card pull time. Card pull.
Hi. I was called today to pick up angel cards from Kyle
Oh,
Gray,
I love angel cards.
Angel Care. So let's see which angel is helping us, our listeners, you know, with this alignment. So, okay. Guess what came?
Oh,
Beautiful card. It says, don't hate, meditate.
wow.
Uh, Thank you, angels, for guiding me to love through meditation. So I am really going to look at where it is. I absolutely love this card. The picture is quite nice. And I think meditation, I was again talking to a friend this morning. I was like, when your mind is overthinking, just go into meditation and just slows down your, thinking patterns. And
Mm.
it says, anytime you feel overwhelmed by anger or frustration, close your eyes and connect with the angels around you. They're a great part of your life and they want you to remove the feeling that aren't serving you so that you can have a deeper, richer connection with them. Meditate and connect with heaven to extend your awareness so you can become more aware of who surrounds you in an energetic level. I'm like, divine, what do you do?
Divine, divine, divine.
You are really independent as a soul, and it's wonderful how self sufficient you are. But the angels are encouraging you to spend some time meditating and welcoming their help and the help of God so that you can be a co creator of your world in their light and that of your creator. Anytime you find yourself about to use the word, close your eyes for a moment and focus on something that makes you feel safe, makes you feel free and blessed. Something you love. Oh my God.
That's just so
I
beautiful.
think these cards are just so magical, isn't
They
it?
are, they are. And it's such a beautiful reminder. I mean, I know we may have touched on it very early on, actually, now when we did the Instagram reels, and we'll talk about it, but you know, calling in your guides, speaking to your angels, speaking to your ancestors, you it's so powerful. You're not alone. You're truly not alone on this journey, and it may feel like that a lot of the time. But once you start connecting with your guides and learning to speak that language, you will realize just how beautifully guided you are, even through the pain. Um, and then, yeah, when you get into alignment, you're just, you have that support all the time. So that is just this card perfectly just summarized this episode.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So, if something in today's conversation resonated, if you're feeling called to live with more clarity, steadiness, self trust, and alignment, know you don't have to navigate this journey alone. Sangeeta and I both hold one to one spaces where we walk alongside you, helping you reconnect with your inner wisdom and live in a way that feels aligned and, most importantly, sustainable.
Our work isn't about fixing you or telling you who to be, what to do. It's about creating a safe space, grounded space where you can hear your own truth more clearly. If you feel that you're called to explore that support, you'll find our details in the show notes. And if not, simply take what you need from this conversation and let it meet where you are.
Thank you. So, alignment isn't loud, it's calm, it's steady, and it's clear. When your energy is honored, your choices begin to reflect who you truly are. Be gentle with yourself as you practice this, and we'll see you the next time. Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care.